Moving on to Easton, Pennsylvania. Michael R. asks, "Hi, Matt. Not sure if you'll be calling Dave for Please Hold." We still got him shaken up about the fact that this is temporary. It's okay, Michael. I think we're here for a while. But here's my question. Hi, Dave. In Jaka's story leading up to page 213, Jaka was at the bar telling Cerebus that every place she visited, she asked for water and was given wine. Was this a conscious or unconscious act done on your part to use an apposite biblical reference for having wine given instead of water? I'm guessing the same thing when, quote, Dave, unquote, asked Cerebus for Coors Light and was given red wine. Then Jaka actually tasting Coors Light. And yes, I appreciate you mentioning that, because I had forgotten writing that part, which was my assumption is that Rick, after his part of Rick's story, went off and essentially started reenacting John's Gospel, including chapter 2 with the wedding in Canaan and the water into wine. So the question for me was, excuse me, with Rick now having gone off panel to enact that, what would be the opposite of Jesus' mother, the Johannine Jesus' mother? And so just to let's refresh everybody's memory. This is the interlinear. And to the day the third, marriage occurred in Cana of the Galilee, and was the mother of the Jesus there. Was called, however, also the Jesus and the disciples of him into the marriage. And having become lacking of wine, is saying the mother of the Jesus toward him, wine not there having. And is saying to her, the Jesus, what to me and to you, woman? Not yet is arriving the hour of thee. Is saying the mother of him to the servants, what likely he may be saying to you, do you? Were over there of stone water jars 6, according to the purification of the Jews lying, having place for up measures 2 or 3, is saying to them, the Jesus, fill you the water jars of water. And they filled them until upper part. And he is saying to them, draw you out now, and be you bringing to the governor of the dining room. He, however, brought. As, however, tasted the governor of the dining room the water, wine having become, and not he had known wherefrom it is. The, however, servants had known, having drawn out the water. He is sounded to the bridegroom, the governor of the dining room, and is saying to him, every man first the fine wine is placing, and whenever they might become drunk, the inferior. You have kept the fine wine until right now. So what I was essentially doing was saying, okay, what is the opposite of that, where the Johannine Jesus' mother, which to me is distinct from the Blessed Virgin, who is the synoptic Jesus' mother, having become lacking of wine, she was desirous of wine, and all that was available was water. So I thought it would be the sort of reciprocal, analogous enactment that Jaka, as she's just traveling in her mind randomly, is going from bar to bar to bar, trying to get somebody to give her a glass of water, as opposed to being lacking of wine. She's just lacking water. And everywhere she goes, they give her wine, and don't even register when she says, I asked you for water, and just walk away. All you're getting wedding is wine. And trying to include myself in the enactment, it's like I'm not Jesus and I'm not Rick. So that's why I asked Cerebus for Coors Light. I was still drinking Coors Light at that time, and I'm given red wine. So it's okay. This is definitely the opposite side of the equation. This is the actual enactment is taking place off panel, and this is like the distinction between burlesque and vaudeville. This is the burlesque of John chapter 2. And just for fun, after listening to last month's Please Hold for You, and Matt spoke about toadstool among mushrooms. By sheer coincidence, I found that you used toadstool among the mushrooms. Where are we going? I'm going on the bottom of page 233 in Rick's story, where Bear was talking to Marty. And let's remember that 233 was the Kryptonite No More issue of Superman with the Neil Adams cover that later became a Canadian stamp. That's really stretching comic art metaphysics, but that's part of what we're here for.
Well, when Mike must only listen to the podcast, because when I made the video, I put that panel in the video.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I understand now. You wrote under here. Matt says, I put that panel in the video twice. Okay. There you go. Mike, thanks for participating as always. And another regular and another Michael. Mike Grabowski asks, where are we here? Hi, Dave and Matt. I apologize if this has been asked before, and you can move on to the next question if it has. I just finished reading Going Home Again, and it occurred to me how weird the Cirinists' adulation of Jaka seemed. She had an abortion. Wouldn't that make her anathema to a religious order that idolizes motherhood? Yet she's traveling freely with a male companion, such as he is, and basically being treated like Princess Diana. I'm curious, excuse me, I'm curious how she received her peculiar redemption. Well, I'm not sure that it's a redemption. It's I wouldn't call it redemptive. Let's finish letting Michael have his say. I could understand the general populace being foolishly charmed by her, but I assume that all the ones in robes, habits, what do you call their uniforms? Habits will do it. Would have been indoctrinated away from indulging in celebrity worship. If it's a political compromise with a presumably still powerful Talmud that she receives good diplomatic treatment, I still don't get why some of the adoration that we witnessed is allowed. Excuse me again. I can't seem to clear my throat. Adoration, particularly, I want to select my words carefully here, of the iconic female totem sort, tends to slip the surly bonds of earth despite all efforts of those surly bonds to contain it. The adoration of Princess Diana is a good example. Whatever you thought, and I'm going to specifically address this on the female side of reality, which is really what you're talking about. What this relationship between between the Cirinists and Jaka, the Princess of Talno, seems off. So what we're talking about is an exclusively female side of reality thing, which is what I was documenting in going home. Whatever you thought as a woman, as a female royalist, as a female British subject, let's upscale it to its highest hierarchical situation. As a female member of the royal family, as a female member of the Fleet Street Press in the UK, as a female member of the worldwide press, everyone went weak in the knees, not just in meeting Princess Diana, but in proximity to her, which meant she lived in the molten core of her own cult of personality force field. And so it is with Jaka and the Cirinists. What they were indoctrinated to feel and think about her turned itself upside down in proximity to her, which meant her reality superseded theirs at the point of interface. It's a mind-boggling factual circumstance that we still haven't really come to terms with. That this is what happened. That the glamour that Queen Elizabeth brought to the throne in 1953, and the same sort of weak at the knees. It's not only Her Majesty the Queen, but God's anointed on earth, and the defender of the faith. It's also a hot chick, which is a really, really interesting meeting point as society is degrading to the point where there becomes a co-equivalence and then an inversion where the hot chick becomes more important than the contextual figure in the God's anointed on earth, defender of the faith thing. We saw that when Princess Diana died, with the completely excessive and I would suggest completely pagan bombardment of balloons and teddy bears and everything outside of Buckingham Palace, and really, really extreme signage. Heaven has its queen, the people's princess. Princess Diana was definitely a hot-looking chick, and was definitely a very, very glamorous woman. But it wasn't coincidental, remotely, in the larger scale of things, that I think it was a week after Princess Diana died that Mother Teresa died. And it's like, okay, reality check. This one's important. This one is just a weird corruption, but a weird corruption to which not only does the whole female side of reality subdivided into the present Princess of Wales and the future Queen Consort, Kate, and Meghan. It's okay. This is the best that can be hoped for. Is that Princess Diana subdivides into two versions that, again, people are the whole female side of the universe is completely enthralled to, has absolutely no immunity to it, and that's what I saw taking place at the time. Didn't know how it was going to hatch out, but it's hatched out very predictably. Michael continues, outside of the story, I can say that I enjoyed rereading this book and remembering the year and a half or so that Cerebus was a romance comic. I was a sucker for Princess/Lady Di back in those days, as I suppose the previous generation of our culture was for Princess Grace or Jackie, K.O. Good couple of good analogies there. Yes, definitely along the same genetic and spiritual stream, one descending into the other. And in my now advanced years, I can see the stick with which you were poking me about it in this book, as well as generally showing all the Jaka fanboys in your then readership what we must have looked like to a more objective bystander. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an objective bystander in that. Whatever, again, what I think and feel, mostly think, but to some degree feel, about Macon, the Duchess of Sussex, sitting here talking to you on the phone. If I was in proximity to her, I would go weak in the knees, and I would be completely tongue-tied. I want to connect with this. This is we don't even have words for this in our society. But if I can just think of something that I could tell her that would amuse her and make her laugh, that's the thing devoutly to be wished. Which is why you really can't fault what those people turn into. It is the molten core of a cult of personality, where whatever it is that you're reading about yourself in the newspapers and reading about yourself online, you don't experience that in any kind of personal contact. Everybody is just weak in the knees when they meet you, and completely tongue-tied. What a very strange way to live. Thanks to you and to Gerhard for producing such a great-looking and great-reading book, and to Sean R. and any other art/restoration/financial contributor for making it look and read even better in the relatively new edition. And I'll second that. Thank you, Michael Grabowski, for reporting in. And we're down to the last three, right? We had some late arrivals here.
Yes, they miraculously showed up.
it was like bing, bing, bing.
You'll see. I'm not going to spoil the surprise till the end.
Okay, all right. Johnny, hello to you, Dave. Long time reader. First time on Please Hold. Fingers crossed I make the cut. And yes, by the blessings of Grace and Matt Dow, who arbitrates these things, you made the cut. I heard that you're doing a Turtle Cerebus remaster. Can you provide details? And on the technical side, no. I know that Sean had one of the early printings of the Turtles collection that Kevin and Peter did. at the same time that I had done High Society, which is probably easily the clearest copies that exist. And then Sean did his, Sean thing, which we all have to agree is just jaw-dropping restoration, even in the ashcan size, which when you're talking about reducing duotone shade to that size, I still thumb through that, going, it's all here, even under the jeweler's loop and under the magnifier lamp. Absolutely nothing is missing here. So it's Sean's usual amazing remaster. Waverly Press is publishing it. Matt can give you a link to the Kickstarter, which is ongoing, creeping up on or exceeding $30,000 in the first 24 hours, and with a lot of great covers, variant covers. We're really devoting a lot of time for this to try and get it connected to as many Turtles fans who, like most of the comic book field, exist in the Riv, the antiviral world that Dave Sim inhabits. So that we're hoping that more people don't find out about the Turtles Cerebus remaster after the fact. And we got 30 days to do that. I had to take the day off to do all of my, I hope, usually thorough research on Please Hold for Dave Sim. But I will be right back at it again, trying to think, and Matt trying to think, and Dagan trying to think, how do we let people know about this in the information technology age? Anybody that wants to help with that, the worst that happens is that you tell people about the Turtles Cerebus remaster crossover, and they just don't register it at all. But in just about any age group, in their 40s or younger than that, Turtles definitely lights up their world I remember the Turtles, and that's one of those things that makes me happy. Well, if you weren't there back before the Turtles movies and back before the mass merchandising, here's a chance to visit it. And I hope you find something in your price range, and I hope you enjoy it when you get them. And Tom Richards, dear Dave, I saw on the Turtles 8 Kickstarter that there are add-ons for Cerebus number 1, Cerebus number 2, and Spawn 10. Are any of those completely new versions? As far as I know, no. The cover on Cerebus number 1 is new. I think that was a decision on Dagan's part, because I had done a number of riffs on the Cerebus number 1 cover on the Cerebus sketchbook cover, which basically just has the Aardvark-Vanaheim Presents logo, Cerebus logo, and the top of the flames. And I thought, well, okay, apart from not literally tracing cover of number 1, which I didn't really want to do, what can I do in terms of a new drawing that I can auction or that people can commission that is the same cover but just viewed a different way? This is the essence of the Cerebus figure, but here it is through Dave Sim's sensibility 40 years later on, which is going to be a completely different sense possibility. The covers in Cerebus #2 and Spawn 10 seem to be the same as those in the remaster. Yes, because I did several Spawn 10 variant covers for the Spawn 10 Kickstarter, remastered Spawn 10 Kickstarter, and I think one of those particularly stuck with Dagan, and he went, let's not quarrel with success. If you missed the Spawn 10 Kickstarter, here's the one that you're probably going to want. And Cerebus #2 is it's Cerebus #2. It's I did 3 versions of that. I think the same thing. Dagan's decided, okay, let's pick one. Let's not make this too complicated. We've already got whatever it is, 17 variant covers for Turtles 8. Let's just do Cerebus #2. If you got in on the Spawn 10 and the Cerebus #1 and Cerebus #2 remastered versions, unless Dagan's done something different this time, as far as I know, that's exactly what's in the Turtles 8 Kickstarter. So if you've already got those, save your money for something else. Greetings, Dave. I can't wait for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #8 remaster to hit my mailbox. We hope it's going to hit it lightly because we want it to stay in mint. The new covers are great and a lot of amazing variants. Count me in. That does beg the question, however. Cerebus #1, Spawn #10, Cerebus #2, now TMNT #8. What's next? Enough said, Arthur Graham. Thanks for checking in with us here, Arthur. I have a Cerebus #3 blue line printout where Alfonso prints a copy of the, in this case, Cerebus #3 cover in light blue on artboard that I can ink on. It's not as big as the original covers on the early issues. That's definitely bigger than the size as cover for Cerebus #2 original that I did back then. And whenever I do have like the spare moment, and I don't have very many spare moments these days, it's always sitting just on the other side of my drawing board, and particularly if I've had a good session inking other things, TMNT #8 covers, the original art cards, a good session of that. I will grab the #3 cover and do some inking on it. So I've got most of the Red Sophia figure done. I've got Cerebus done. I've got a little bit on the foliage. As to whether that's next, it'll be Waverly Press. This will be Cerebus #3 will Dagan is our rainmaker, our Kickstarter rainmaker, so he will be rainmaking. But whether it would be next, that's another question. Dagan's also got almost everything done, virtually everything done, on the book about the 1982 U.S. tour, which includes my tour diary and photos and sketches from the tour. Dagan always wants to schedule a bunch of things simultaneously, and I go, no, we're going to go one at a time. After Turtles 8, after whatever the next thing is that Aardvark-Vanaheim will be doing a Kickstarter on. It could be Cerebus 3 Remastered, or it could be the tour diary, or it could be the next trade paperback / hardcover.
The Last Day.
What's that?
The Last Day is the next one.
We're not certain about that. There's little noises being made about, the Last Day is in the pipeline, but it's one of those. Okay, what's our next best shot, guys? Is another book that could probably have the same treatment. We're still trying to figure out how to get the soft cover and the hardcover to play together nicely, whichever one it is, which is why we might be doing Cerebus number 3 Remastered or the 1982 book about the tour before we do the next hardcover, soft cover. So that it seems like an easy question, Arthur, to just say, what's next? Next in what sense? Immediately coming up next on the program? Everything is very, very fluid at this point, as the politicians say.
So, what were the name of the 3 guys?
Arthur Graham, Tom Richards, and Ed Coates.
Do you remember those 3 guys? As my father has said for years, because he's a drinker, alcohol kills brain cells, and at this point I'm down to the last one and we're deli slicing it. And he's since...
So it's from that time period.
And he has since evolved it to, when I ask him a question he doesn't remember, he'll say the brain cell isn't slowing down, or the brain cell isn't stopping. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say you don't remember these 3 famous Cerebus fans.
Famous Cerebus fans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the history of Cerebus fandom, these 3 names, these 3 individuals, rank up pretty high. Margaret might know who they are. I doubt it, but she might. Everybody else in fandom's probably right now going, wait, what did they say? And trying to back up the recording.
Ed Coates, Tom Richards, Arthur Graham. Boy, you'd think it would be at least ringing a dim bell somewhere.
Well,
but grandpa moment for Dave.
As I said, these 3 miraculously showed up today. For anybody that's backed previous Waverly Press Aardvark-Vanaheim projects, if you have Cerebus number 2, flip to the letters page. Those are the first 3 guys to ever write letters in.
Okay, all right.
So Dave, you remember these guys?
I don't remember the guys, but now that you're saying, the Cerebus number 2 letters page, one of them I made up. I mean, one of the letters in Cerebus number 2 I made up because I didn't have enough letters. But it sounds like these are the real guys.
Well, no. What happened is our good friend and the how does she phrase it? The Interim Aardvark-Vanaheim Strange Death of Alex Raymond fundraiser organizer, Jen DiGiacomo, sent me an email asking about something else, and my response was, she was asking about a fax, and I'm like, I haven't gotten that fax, or it's one of the many faxes I have that I'm not dealing with, because right now it's please hold time. All I'm thinking about is please hold. And she responded to it and said, oh, well, if you need a couple ringers to bring up the topic of the Kickstarter, here you go. And the first letter of the first sentence of each one of these spells out JDG.
Nyok, nyok, nyok.
And she put those 3 names because she thinks you made up all the letters in number 2.
No, there were real letters in number 2. Oh, that's such a JGG thing to do.
Well, and it's one of those. I got the email and I'm like, well, considering that the first topic on the list of questions is let's check the big board to see where it's at, I don't think I need to find a subtle way to bring it up. But at the same time, if I get a question and it's reasonably before you call, I will send it up. I'm like, well, let's see if he recognizes the names as, oh wait, I made that guy up.
Oh, that's funny. And it's, I'll tell you, one of the centerpieces of Please Hold for Dave Sim is you take everything at face value. If one of them had been signed Napoleon Bonaparte, I would be answering very earnestly and as sincerely as possible whatever Napoleon was asking about, because that's part of the job description.
Well, and
okay, that's I think that's a wrap now. Are we going to close with the big board
wait, let me just hit the button here and get to the big board. No, that ain't it.
Because we're at 10 to 9 Eastern Standard Time.
Come on, button. Oh, that'd be why. I'm on the page, but I zoomed in. The big board says, and we're loading, and we're thinking, and we're loading, and we're thinking. We're at $31,188 with 221 backers.
Dun, 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 dun. That's pretty impressive. That's still not up to Spawn's first day, but we're in a completely different reality from that one. That's one of the questions. That's the giant pile of question marks that we've got. How much is printing costing more than it did? How much less money do people have to throw around? How actively can we get to people that we've never gotten to before? The third one is the only one that I can have any kind of impact on, and you can have any impact on, and trust us, folks, and Dagan can have impact on, and trust us, folks. We are going to be running flat out for the month of March, and we'll see if the tortoise can actually beat the hare.
Well, so leading up to this, doing the countdown, I made the mock-up of Sim and Dow's teenage in quotes mutant ninja survey with you and the ninja weapons, and I was using it would be X number of days until that image from the Waverly Press launches, and then it would be the sleeps card. And now I'm going to replace that with an Amok News, the newsroom with Iguana reading what's on the big board. So every day I'm as I post, it's going to be okay. Here's where we're at as of when I hit post. I still have to make the second version where you actually did the ninja poses that the turtles did. That was on my I got to get this done, and then I got busy.
Okay, it's I decided to really go as authentic as possible. Rolly, we had the page that I tore out of one of the Heritage Auctions catalogs of a 9.2 Turtles number 1 with a Kevin Eastman autograph and head sketch on it, and I would tilt it toward me and go, okay, this I think is the pose, and then turn it towards Rolly, and he would say, no, the one arm's got to be up a little higher, over a little more, and we got it done, and he was kneeling on the one side of the chair, and I was the last figure that I did. I was kneeling, and it's like when we stood up, both of our ninja days are over. Our knees were a mess. So I hope you'll send a scan of that through Rolly. I would like to see how that one turns out. I had my original UK Tour '86 sleeveless T-shirt on for those poses. It's we're going to go completely authentic, 1986 and 1986, just as if it is 37 years ago.
Well, it's looking at the first one I did. I'm like, I screwed up because you're wearing the approval as an authoritarian construct shirt. I'm like, and the angle's pretty good. I'm like, I should have replaced that with one of the 3 covers you drew for each of the 3 Daves I had, because I'm like, oh, that would be perfect. And then I looked at the new pictures. I'm like, nope, the angle's all wrong. I can turn the image, but you're not going to see that it's the cover. So I'm gonna leave the UK shirt probably. I don't know. It's something I'm gonna be working on tomorrow and Saturday, and by Saturday night I should have it done, because it's one of those. It's too stupid to not work on.
And where everybody else is, it is Saturday. We're the only ones still stuck in Thursday.
Well, but the way it works is the first thing I do is make the audio, and that gets posted and goes live. So it'll usually be Friday nights, and then I share the link on Facebook and Twitter, and I always say, Amok Gold VIP members get early access. And I've had 2 people now respond going, how do you become a VIP access member? You click the link. It's not anything. It's a made up thing. It's you know. I should make T-shirts and put them on the TeePublic shop and see if we can sell, you know, a gold logo, Amok, you know, the Cerebus number 4 gold Amok logo that was on the back. Put that on a shirt in gold ink and be like, it's the, you know, Amok VIP gold members, and see if all of a sudden, you know, the site, instead of getting $12 in sales, gets like, I don't know, 200 or 300, and it'll be like, well, that's it. That's apparently what we, you know, that was the one we were waiting for.
No, the only person that would do it is the person who asked the question. We already know the answer to that one.
Yeah, but there's 2 different people.
And probably they wouldn't. They just, they're sitting at their computer. They might as well type the question and hit send. It's the Internet of Things experience. Okay, that's going to do it, Matt. It's almost 9 o'clock, and Grandpa's hungry.
Okay.
So Grandpa's going to go and eat.
Okay.
Okay, say hi to Paula and Janice and Bullwinkle for me.
Will do. And hopefully we'll be doing this again next month, and you'll be dancing around because of all the monies that we threw at the Kickstarter.
Oh, I think that's a guarantee already. I'm doing that tomorrow. Have a good night, Matt.
You too, Dave. Bye.
Bye-bye.